over a year ago, I started playing Ark Survival Evolved with infinite melee damage. This meant that I one-shot every creature whether I used a slingshot, bow, spear, or anything else. But this also led to a ton of unexpected problems, like accidentally murdering my own dinos, anti-fall damage killing me, and a ton of other horrible and annoying challenges. It was so bad that I didn't want to play the game for months at a time. And because of this, the video quality, graphics, editing, and video style changed throughout the challenge. But I think it's interesting to see how I improved over the course of a year and a half. So enjoy.
I made my character and spawned at Lava Island. Then I died punching a tree, because when you use your fist in Ark, you take damage, and this stacks with the damage you do. I tried to do this enough times to build a pick, but each spawn put me further away. I was looking for a Giganto when I found a supply drop, but I died from a tiny drop, as any fall damage is death. I respawned, and in the supply drop was an axe, and now I could actually progress. I got my stuff and went on a killing rampage. Boom! Goodbye. 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 I built a boat and found a supply drop, but couldn't open it. I got attacked by a shark, so I killed it and a leady thing. I slingshotted a whale and all the mantas died around it. Then sharks came after me and I nearly died. Oh, get wrecked, nerd. Oh, get wrecked, nerd. Oh, get wrecked, nerd. I tamed 2 ichthyes and built a saddle, but mantas killed one. I wanted revenge, but my dolphin swam into the arrow and died. I tamed a 130, took my anger out, and got revenge. I was bodying parasites when piranhas attacked me and nearly killed my ichthy. I was on a rampage when I killed a level 145 alpha megalodon. Oh, you're all gonna die, you're all gonna die. Oh no, I'm gonna die. From all the killing, I got 30 levels and some great loot. Then I made the mistake of punching a pteranodon. I got back to my stuff and there was an alpha megalodon fighting my ichthy. I killed it. I went to Skull Island and was looking around when my dolphin died. I got my revenge though, and a ton of metal and crystal. I killed 2 whales as I was very upset. I fought an alpha shark and tamed a monkey. I headed inland for an equius so that I could knock stuff out. I died twice, and while knocked out, a stupid bird picked up my monkey, but I killed it. After an hour-long search, I gave up and tried to use a wild scorpion instead, but it didn't work out too well. I tried again using snakes and more scorpions, but that was also a failure. I gave up and headed home, but I cut my chute and died. I was going back when my monkey died. I got revenge and my stuff. Later, I tamed a dolphin as well as a moss chops. A saber-tooth pushed me off a ledge, so I came back and did mutually assured destruction. I went to an island and searched the entire thing, killing everything, but still no equius. I eventually found one on the mainland in the jungle, and it was a 150, but it ran away and was never found again. I found another and tamed it, as well as a moss chops. Later on, I tamed another equius. I put my horse to work by taming a pteranodon and scorpion. I got a level 145 equius and used it on 2 pteranodons, Dodic, Anki, and a Tech-Parasaur, but that died. I went to the snow biome for Karaku, and this happened. Yeah. I tried knocking out an Argy, but it died. I tried again, but it flew away. I gave up, went home, and tamed a 150 Dodic. I nearly knocked out a 145 Argy, but it flew away. A Pegomastic stole my stuff, I killed it, but accidentally hit one trick pony. I found the Archie, but it kept running. I got off my horse in midair and died. I died twice on the way back. I decided to trap the Archie, and it worked surprisingly well. I knocked it out and tamed it. Next, I got a ton of metal and wanted a 150 Rex, so I went looking for a frog, as my equius would have killed it. I found a 145, it tamed easily, but was quite weak. I was fighting an Archie when I hit E and died. I came back though. I was killing Brontos when I got amazing loot. I was caving with Beatrice when I died somehow. I made it back with no issues. I went further into the cave as I needed the artifact. Despite having never been in the cave, I found it easily. I was still looting when I accidentally jumped out of the cave. I killed an alpha T-Rex, went clubbing, died, nearly killed Sarge, and killed a 150 thief bird. I tried knocking out a Tech Quetzal, but it would have died. I couldn't find the 150 Rex, so I got a 140 Spino instead, using a frog. Now, it did take a while, and I had to let it regen a bunch, but eventually it tamed. I got home and killed an alpha megalodon. I went on an absolute rampage with my Spino. I even killed an alpha carno. A Perlovia nearly killed me. I started taming a 140 Giganto and a 145, but the 140 disappeared. I got the 145 though. I killed another alpha carno, found a 140 Thyla, picked it up, brought it to an island, hopped off my RG, and died. I came back and tamed the Thylakleo, killed 2 alpha raptors with Sarge, 1 with Thyler, plus a carno, and another raptor. I decided to build my base where I tamed the Thylakleo. I killed an Alpha Rex with Spencer, found a really sick underground area. When trying to get out, I nearly died. I teleported out and built my base. I was getting rare mushrooms when I somehow died to a Sarco. I got into a giant battle with my Thylakleo and took on 3 Alpha Megalodons at once. I found an underwater cave, but got mega rabies and died. Some stupid jellyfish attacked me, which was quite scary, but I handled it. I killed a Lady with Beatrice, tamed a 150 turtle, and went to Lava Island for the first time since I spawned. I found a 150 Rex. I started knocking her out with a frog, and despite it being on Lava Island, it went surprisingly smoother than the Spino. I then killed a Giga with 1 pistol bullet. It was amazing. But while I was celebrating, my RG nearly died, but I destroyed them and an Alpha Carno. I found a 150 Plezzy and started taming, but I unfortunately missed a shot and killed it. So I went after a 145, then another 150 showed up, so I started knocking them both out. It took a while and was extremely intense and difficult, but eventually I got both of them with a frog. I absolutely demolished not 1, but 2 Alpha Rexes with Thyler. After decimating some wildlife, I went into an artifact cave. I killed everything in it and went into the depths. There was a fork in the road, I went one way and surfaced in an ice arena thingy with tons of creatures. I killed them all and continued. I found a death drop. Luckily, I had parachutes, so I jumped down and got the artifact. And after some insane climbing, I made it out. I went through the other path of the cave, and after some killing, got another artifact. I bred the Plezzies, but wanted full imprinting, so I needed a nanny. I picked up the Plezzy, got obsidian to make scissors, shaved my head, and got honey on my first try, but died somehow. I needed to kill time to regrow hair, so I went to Lava Island and annihilated everything I found with Regina, even a 150 Alpha T-Rex, which was surprisingly easy. I mean, I just turned on my macro and chilled. It gave trash loot. After decimating the rest of the island, I went to a side island and continued my rampage. I came back to Lava Island and after more destruction, found a Giga. It was also surprisingly easy to fight, so I turned on my macro and relaxed. When I came back to my base, I noticed another plesiosaur and realized it had been twins. I needed wood, so I looked for a Therizino. I found a 145 and started knocking it out. It nearly killed me many times. It went down, and after taking out some hoodlums, I tamed it. I got to work on improving my base, but it's quite difficult when any fall kills you. But when it was done, it was beautiful. I headed to a cave, killed an Alpha Megalodon and Raptor, and didn't get the kill for either. I was looking for the cave when I fell into lava and died. I rushed back and saved Thyler. Despite this, I continued on. Thyler didn't fit, but I wouldn't let it stop me. I destroyed everything I came across. I hit a dead end and turned around. I found another path, and after wiping it out, I got the trophy. I made my way out, fell in lava, but survived. I entered the lava cave. I slid down the side of the wall and decimated the critters. I went through a fork in the path and killed some more creatures. This routine continued for quite a while as there were so many areas to explore and creatures to kill. I found the first artifact somehow. I backtracked and went the other way. I found the other artifact and left. I built graves for my dead dinos and separated them by those I killed and those that died. And I only killed 3! I found a level 20 Quetz and decided to try again. And this time it went surprisingly well. And I knocked it out with the frog. It lost effectiveness, but it doesn't matter, and I have a Quetz. I went to the underground world and found a 150 Bronto. After killing its friends, I noticed there was a Pachyrhino, Diplo, and Mesopithecus, all level 150, right beside the Bronto. I started knocking it out, and after 30 minutes, it went down. After it was done taming, I went looking for the artifact, and after a dead end, I found the right area, and came across the jumping puzzle. Because I'd watched TDS the Tree's 200 Days vid, I knew how hard the parkour was. So instead of doing that, I just used my Thylakleo, because though it takes 100 damage a second, Thyler is a beast, so it was no problem. I left and explored the rest of the cave. I went to the South Ice Cave for another artifact, which I found quite quickly. After rampaging for a bit, I left. I got attacked by a Yeti and nearly died, and everything was very intense and dangerous, but I survived. I found a cool secret area. I started exploring, and randomly got an artifact.
Everything so far was edited and voiced over a year ago. What's left was written after being recorded, but voiced and edited for the first time.
I returned to Ark with much better graphics, then went into another artifact cave. After evading all the enemies, I got the artifact. I jumped into the lake and decimated the aquatic creatures, including an alpha. At home, I made the nanny and released the army of Plezzies that had been gathering. I took Ace for a test flight and found 2 mate boosted 150 dire bears together. I dropped them off at an island near my base because right now I had no safe way to knock them out and needed a squid. I tried taking on an alpha mosa with Nessie, but it was too strong. I got to work on leveling up and gathering black pearls for squid taming. Also, when did they add eels? Because I hate them. After some more leveling, I took on a squid and destroyed it. And after enough training, I rematched the alpha mosa, and this time I destroyed it, all while using a macro. I killed an alpha shark and Leedy with Thyler. I found a 150 squid and tried taming it. It was going well for my first time taming a squid, until I let go of Leonardo and attacked me, which destroyed my scuba suit. I got it to grab Leonardo again. I was running out of air, so I tried feeding it again, but it attacked me and I died. I rushed back and the squid wasn't attacking Leo, so I continued taming. I kept out maneuvering it and evading it while waiting for it to be ready to eat. Then some eels attacked me, but I handled it. It was ready to eat, so for the first time in my life, I tamed a giant squid. I took Squidney out leveling, and I have to say squids are very good fighters. I mean, they do multiple hits on each attack and are very strong. Of course, the real reason I tamed it was to knock out the dire bears, so I did just that. And after 15 minutes, the first one went out. I rushed in and tamed it. That took way too long, so I went out leveling. I even killed an alpha squid and a mosa, then another squid, but this one was a 150. I had enough levels, so after another 15 minutes, I tamed the other bear. I got metal with Andy at Skull Island. I found a cool air pocket and went exploring. There wasn't much to it, but it was quite cool. I was in the snow when I found a 145 Giga. I started knocking out the Giga with Beatrice, but this proved quite difficult as it did a ton of bleed damage. It was super hard to get hits on. It also lost torpor insanely fast, so I gave up on this method. It came up with the SSBSP, or the super slow boring squid plan, where I would lure the Giga to my squid, then wait an hour while the squid hugged it to sleep. I used Leonardo as bait, which is when I learned the squid can't pick up a Giga, despite it being on Dododex, but whatever. Since Gigas are dumb when swimming, I went back to the frog, but then I realized this Giga was a 55 and the 145 had bamboozled me. I killed the 55, I found the 145 and lured him into the water. I started knocking out the Giga with Beatrice. I was slowly knocking out the Giga when an alpha shark came along and started attacking me. I was trying to keep the Giga from losing torpor, but then Beatrice died. And when trying to shoot the shark, I hit the Giga and killed it. I made sure to kill the shark though. I built Beatrice a grave, then got a new 150 to replace her. Despite just getting Kermit, I decided a Packy would be better, so I found a 150 and knocked out with my frog / squid as it got low. I found a 150 mammoth and started knocking out with Patrick, but he was really bad, so I switched to Kermit. The mammoth was too low and I didn't feel like waiting, so I killed it. But this made me realize just how bad the Packy was, because sure, on paper he's better than the frog, but in reality he's a steaming pile of garbage. I considered giving up on the Giga, but that just wasn't an option, so I decided to search for a scorpion instead. While looking, I found 2 alpha raptors together and killed them. There was some massive overspawning going on, so I got out Spencer and went ham on the stupid bugs. After all the outside ones were dead, I went inside and slaughtered the rest, until I gave up because there were just way too many. I found a 150 and brought it back to my base. I started knocking it out. It went down in the waters and stupid mantis killed it. I was looking for another when I jumped off my bird and died. I made it back and saved Sarge. I found a new 150 and tamed it successfully this time. I found a 130 Giga and came up with a plan to trap it in gates. This totally original idea worked out pretty well. Though Dododex said an Equus was impossible, I decided to give it a shot. It worked well, but the Giga did way too much damage for it to be sustainable. Though 1 horse would die before knocking out a Giga, I wondered if 100 would be able to knock it out, so I tried taking a 140 Equus. But it swam into the ocean and kicked me off randomly. Then it was really stupid and glitchy, so I killed it. I found a 135, I started taming it and ran into issues, but eventually tamed it. After a 30-minute search, I found the Brood artifact. I found a 130 Equus and started taming. It went much better, but I still had no female Equus. Then my game crashed and I had to tame the Equus again. At this point I was pretty close to giving up on the Giga, but then I came up with a really complicated plan, involving tripwire narcotic traps and an absolute ton of work and luck. I spent about an hour gathering resources I needed for the super complex plan. It had been over 9 months since last playing, and the reason for that was because I just didn't really feel like having to go through the entire ordeal of taming a Giga. When truthfully, there was no point to it. I mean, I wasn't going to use it in the boss fight, and I am always going to be stronger than it, so it's useless. So after getting the remaining items needed to summon the hardest version of the bosses, I grabbed Thyler and headed to the obelisk. I activated the portal and went through, but Thyler disappeared. I found the bosses, the monkey ran up on me, so I shot him with my pistol. Then the broodmother came at me. I blasted her with my rifle, and bam, I beat Ark for the very first time.